You smoked him like a ham. I just want to remind everybody, you warned everyone about the future under our present president. You said he would prosecute his political enemies. He would cut Medicaid, Medicare. He would ignore court orders. He would alienate our allies. He would give massive tax cuts to the rich. And I know you're not here to say, I told you so. But would you like to?
What's up, y'all? My name is Fitz. Welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all for tapping in. Today we're going to go over this. Kamala Harris recently did an interview on the Stephen Colbert show. For those of you who are unaware, Stephen Colbert show is getting canceled, I guess, and Trump had come out and said some things about that. I guess he is in agreement. It should be canceled, so I think that's why she's on here. But we're going to get into this because I watched part of this and it reminded me of why she didn't get elected, and we're going to go over it. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're a content creator looking to build your brand online without the burnout, you have a voice, you want to say something, make sure you tap into my content confidence workbook. Information is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right, let's get into it.
But let me just say this. You are correct that I did predict a lot of it. But Stephen, what I did not predict was the capitulation. I didn't predict that.
People would roll over for this president.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. And perhaps it's naive of me, someone who has seen a lot that most people haven't seen. But
now, one of the things that is interesting to me is I don't see how she's saying people are rolling over for him necessarily. Everything that Trump was saying during the campaign, that's what he did. So this idea that she's like Nostradamus and predicted all of this stuff and no one could have seen it coming, absolutely false narrative. He told you exactly what he was going to do. He told you, what he was running on. He talked about the border. He talked about stopping wars. He talked about trying to get inflation down. He talked about, holding people accountable and things like that. So I don't know where she's getting the idea that she predicted all of this when it was just in plain sight, because that's what he was running on. And he's been doing the things he said he was running on. So that's kind of confusing right there. It's not confusing. It's just kind of interesting that she's saying that. Another thing is, we have to understand when she's on these platforms, she has a book coming out now. So this is really about her selling her book and remaining relevant. Her talking about people rolling over for Donald Trump. Do we not remember what happened during COVID? Do we not remember social media companies, billion-dollar companies rolling over for the Joe Biden administration when they were censoring people? When they were cutting people's channels off, when they were not allowing real scientists to get the information out about the side effects of COVID and things like that. Do we not remember that? Do we not remember recently Mark Zuckerberg coming out and saying that the government, the federal government, applied pressure to Facebook, to Meta, to make it to where they censored certain information, the Hunter Biden laptop, vaccines? Like, do we not remember that? To me, that's rolling over. To me, that's disregarding the Constitution. Do we not remember Joe Biden using OSHA to pretty much fire people who did not want to go along with the agenda of getting vaccinated if they felt like it wasn't necessary? Do we not remember that? Do we not remember CNN having a ticker of the death toll of people who got COVID? And some of those deaths are debatable. But yet we don't see no death ticker for high blood pressure, for diabetes, for heart disease. Do we not remember that whole agenda? Because I do. So when she's on this show talking about she can't believe people just rolled over, you're one to talk. You were part of one of the most constitutionally, I would say, dangerous administrations that there were. You locked people in their homes and told them they couldn't leave unless they got something injected in them. And when science came out that this was not the case, y'all suppressed it. So we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. You have no room to talk.
But I believed that on some level, there should be many who consider themselves to be guardians of our system and our democracy who just capitulated. And I didn't see that coming.
Do you think, you must have some still connected.
What are the names? Can we get specific? Because she likes to talk in these circles and be very general and broad. Who are the people you're talking? Are you talking about Republicans? Are you talking about Democrats? Give us names and tell us exactly what you're talking about and articulate a point so that we can do something about it. But when you come on and you just give this broad statement of people rolled over, who? What did they roll over on? What issue did they roll over on? What are you talking about? And if you're not going to be able to back up what you're saying, then don't come on as a serious political figure. And don't come on. Look at the interview. The interview is 28 minutes long. And this says that this is the extended interview. This is the problem. You want to do a 28-minute interview, your first interview since you didn't get elected or whatever, since Trump got elected. You want to do an extended interview that's only 28 minutes long. You want to do it on a softball show where they're just going to clap every 10 seconds. This isn't real. This is why you didn't get elected, bruh. It's why, because you're so inauthentic. And I don't know Kamala Harris. She could be a great person and all that stuff. But whoever is behind her strategy, it's not working.
Connection of what's going on in Washington. Do you think that these people think that they can just ride out the storm and everything will be fine on the other side?
I think there are some who do. And I think that it is completely naive. I think there are a lot of people who think they're riding out the storm as an excuse to be feckless. Mm-hmm. And this is a time for people to, look.
Again, who?
Look, we designed our democracy with 3 independent, co-equal branches of government. I mean, when you see that the President of the United States is trying to get rid of the Department of Education, and Congress has the role and responsibility to stand in the way of that, and they're just sitting on their hands and then they go on recess because they don't want to deal with transparency?
Yeah. And the Supreme Court says...
Looks like we got to add. One moment, y'all. We gon'... All right, we're going to get past this ad real quick. All right, we back.
And the Supreme Court says that he can ignore a law that established it.
Yeah, but the Supreme Court, we knew what they were doing. Remember, I talked about it in 107 Days. I don't put that in the book, by the way.
This is an exclusive.
This is an exclusive for the Stephen Colbert show. But the Supreme Court basically gave whoever would be president, when I was in the campaign, I talked about immunity. Immunity. We talked about that. So we're not surprised what the Supreme Court is doing. And
yeah, I think they gave immunity because they saw that the American people were not happy with the sitting administration. Talking about that, all of these court cases and trying to pretty much weaponize the justice system against a candidate that was running on the opposite side of the aisle. Everyone saw what was happening. Y'all were just indicting Trump on things, and y'all were trying to use that to sway the election. And so I think, and then with the whole January 6th thing and stuff like that, these were the dirty tricks that Democrats were playing so that the Republican Party wouldn't be able to have Trump on the ticket and that it would ultimately impact him being able to become president. And so that's what had happened. She's not going to put that in context. She's not going to say what part the Democrats had in it, because they understand fundamentally that that was their game plan. And when their game plan didn't work, and when everyone saw that Joe Biden humiliated himself during the debate, they had her come in.
God thank those members of the court who write brilliant dissents and remind us of what the democracy and the rule of law is supposed to be. you know.
Well, we thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to have you here to talk about the new book, 107 Days. Got to read the book to find out most of the answers tonight. But I got to ask you something before you go. You're no longer, you're not running for office right now.
Yeah.
You're stepping away from that life right now. Who's leading the Democratic Party? I'm just curious.
There are lots of leaders, and
There's generally a leader of the Democratic Party. Like, oh, that's the leader of the Democratic Party. Who comes to mind?
I think there are a lot of. I'm not going to go through names because then I'm going to leave somebody out, and then I'm going to hear.
Why not say yourself? Right? Isn't that weird that you just ran for president and that you don't have the confidence to say, like, hey, I'm leading the Democrat Party, or that there's not a lead? Like, it seems like the Democrat Party doesn't actually have a leader at this point. And I think it's good on their part that they're not naming one. I think they want to see what's happening. I don't think that they feel like Kamala Harris is going to be a strong candidate in 2028. So, to me, that's a sign.
About it. But let me say this. I think it is a mistake for us who want to figure out how to get out and through this and get out of it, to put it on the shoulders of any one person. It's really on all of our shoulders.
Come on, bro. Nah. I'm not rocking with that. You know why? Was it on the people when Democrats weren't even able to really elect a candidate when Joe Biden stepped out? How come you didn't want it on the people then? You didn't want to put it on the people to elect a candidate for the Democrat nominee, but you want everyone to be involved now. It's everyone's fight. It's all about everyone. When people were sitting there telling you they didn't want to get vaccinated, it was about what you wanted. When people were saying that, is Joe Biden going to be able to run? Look at his mental health, and y'all were saying nothing was wrong. Was that about the people, or was that about you? Let's be real. But look, we understand what's going on. She's on a book tour. She want to capitalize on her fame and stuff like that. Politics, maybe she doesn't know where she's going to go with that. And really, I don't blame her. I don't blame her for trying to make a little bit of money, take advantage of capitalism. But I don't think that we should be looking at Kamala Harris as a strong political figure. Watching this interview and the way that she dances around questions and doesn't really give you an answer, it reminded me of why she did not get elected. She has everything to say and nothing to say at the same time. And I think maybe we dodged a bullet. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section. And tap into the Content Confidence Workbook if you're an online creator looking to build a brand online without the burnout. All right, appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video.